What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. My name is Splattercat, and I am happy to have you here today for the next episode of Neo Scavenger. In the previous episode, we had gone up to the ATN and we had learned a little bit about our past, and we had learned that we were haunted by ghostesses, and so that's all kinds of bad. What is this guy right here? This guy, he fell down. We're sneaking up on him. He's fleeing blindly. Oh, because it's weird because the AI knows you're here, even though it doesn't technically, quote-unquote, know you're here. It should be morning pretty soon, I think. I don't know. We need to scavenge. So the point of this episode right now is that we have a couple of goals in front of us. First and foremost, we want to get down to Detroit, and we need to start the real storyline, which starts in Detroit. Actually, no. The real storyline, I think, starts in the ATN, and then when you go down to the DMZ in Detroit, you get a second quest that runs a pretty large chunk of the game. It's a good quest, and you probably want to participate in it. It can get a little bit wild. You're probably not going to survive it, but it's what you got to do in order to advance the game and move it forward, so it is what it is. As of right now, I was looking through my inventory, and there's, like, stuff we can get rid of. I think there are things here that are not quite so useful as they need to be, and I actually need to organize this a little bit better, which is what I'm going to do. So let me get all this stuff lined up real fast. We're going to want to, since this is going to be a scavenging episode, our only goal during this episode is just to try and make sure that we've got the things that we need in order to do our job properly, namely money. Money is a very, very important thing in this game, so we need $1,000 to cure our eye problems, our myopia. We need, I'm going to use these rags that I was just going to throw away. I'm going to use those to bandage my leg real fast. There we go. There it is, and then I'll throw one around my face too, just in case. And so we've got a crude air filter. There's your obligatory joke. I'm going to recraft these real quickly into better lockpicks because these ones are about to break on me. And so there it is. I don't want to invoke the name of Lincoln Park in here right now, but, you know, lockpicks are about to break. I don't talk to him, though, so there's no, like, everything you say to me. Like, he's not one step closer to the edge, and he's not about to break because of that. The lockpick is about to break simply because I've been using it too much. I've been leaning on it a lot lately in order to get us loot, and when you lean, the player is feeling dizzy. Why are we dizzy? That guy's got a gun. So let's ditch our vehicle, and I'm going to run up on this guy. Oh, we aren't even nearly close enough for this dude. Oh, this is going to suck. I really hope we don't get shot. He would have shot us by now. Oh, he's got a crowbar? Okay, that's good. Put the gun away. If he puts the gun away, I feel better. The pistol isn't that effective, though, outside of like 10 or 12 range, as I recall. So if I can get this dude up close and just like deal with him, that's what I would rather do. Actually, we'll go slow right now. He's at 5. Let me get back up. He's going to try and run away from us, but my goal right now is just to, like, stab him. And so now he's coughing blood, stunned, vulnerable, and bleeding. That's a lot of status effects from one hit. I'm going to charge and get up close so that he can't get out of combat. We're going to stay on him, keep stabbing him. He's stunned and vulnerable right now. I'm going to use Lure. Lure is a very, very good ability that you should be able to use anytime that it comes up. So what Lure does is it just knocks your enemy down. Think of it as like a sweep kick. It's got a chance to knock you down along with them, but it works almost 100% of the time to knock them down, and it rarely knocks you down. So it's actually kind of a powerful ability. I only know about it because of the Nerd Castle, because they told me about it, but he's fallen right now. I tried to hit him with a flurry because he was fallen. Unfortunately, I messed it up, so that's that. I need this gun. Where is this dude? I hate how easily the AI can get out of combat. It frustrates me because you can't get out of combat that easily. Like, the AI is able, like, the AI is so slippery in this game. Like, it gets out of combat so easily. So this guy's getting run up on. It looks like we're going to be in a battle right now. For what, I can't really tell you. I don't like, how come we're going into these combats blind? Like, I know he's there. Why does it count as blindness? Is it because we don't know where he is in the hex? That's got to be what it is, right? I don't know. Either way, he got away again. They're so slippery. They're so slippery in this game. So I'm going to keep stabbing him. This isn't the same guy. This is a different dude. But I need to stay on him right now. And if we're going to be killing people, I just need to make it happen. He's unconscious, so that guy's now down. This is not the guy with the gun, which is unfortunate. But the AI is really, really slippery in this game. And it can be frustrating trying to run them down if you're trying to kill somebody. And it's like, it's weird because it's so hard for you to get out of combat a lot of the time. But the AI seems to do it like they just don't even... Oh, no, I left my thing on the ground. Oh, there's the dude with the gun right there. I'm going to stab this guy real fast. So he's stunned and bleeding. Unfortunately, he's got himself a spear as well. I'm going to leave him away. I'm going to let him fall down real fast. He's now bleeding. I'm going to get him again. Our goal with this guy is just to be real, real aggressive with him. That's like all that we care about. I need to get closer, though. There we go. So now he's stunned and vulnerable. We'll use lure on him. That leaves him close. We're going to go for a confirm, and there's the confirmed kill right there. He's got water bottle. We're like on a killing rampage right now, and I kind of feel like a dick about it, but he came at me. So that's what he gets. This is what happens. Just don't run at me, and I won't get nervous, and then you won't have to get stabificated. How much water has he got on him? What are these right here? Are these good berries or bad berries? Those are good berries. Awesome. And then there's a water bottle right there. He adds, ooh, a 3-dog moon shirt. 3-dog moon shirt, very, very valuable. What it's valuable for, you can wear it, and it gives you a buff. It generally just, like, makes you more lucky, as far as I know. That's how I had it explained to me. It, like, makes you more lucky, and that's all that somebody told me about, is that it makes you real, real lucky. So that's good. I'm going to drink this water bottle right here, because it'll save us on thirst for a little bit later. And then, we're going to try and get at this dude, and see if maybe we can get him. He's out in a field right now. Our chances of running up on him are very, very slim, unfortunately, because we are weary at the moment. But I want this guy to die so that I can take his gun. Like, carrying around a gun in the apocalypse, it's like when you see somebody in DayZ and they have a real nice gun, what's your first response? You're like, oh, I've only got like a 1911. Maybe I'll hide in this building and wait for him to come by, and when he walks through the door, pop, 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 and then his stuff is now my stuff. You know, like, it's a real thought that runs through your head. It's not the nicest thought, but it's definitely a real thought. Additionally, this guy's probably going to try and steal. There we go. He's coughing blood. He's stunned. Let's knock him down real fast. He's now recovering. He's not fallen, though, so I'm going to keep on him. And so now he's in shock, unconscious, and now he's dead. His stuff is now our stuff. He's got a box and some berries in there. His pistol's in bad shape, but it's got bullets, so that more than makes up for it. We're now burdened. There's our travois right there. He took it, actually. He brought it to us because we left our travois in the hex up here, so he went and tried to steal from us. I mean, he didn't steal from us. We just kind of... I messed up. I'm not going to bring you in on it. I messed up, and he tried to steal our stuff. What's in that can right there? Newspaper. Alright, not as edible as I was hoping. I was hoping there'd be some goodies in there. Ooh, he's got better pants than we do. Hold on. Yeah, we only have 24.2% pants. That's not good for us right now. 22.4% pants. It's kind of like this weird... It's a genetic crossover because there's like some inbreeding within the pant community. So, for example, these pants right here, his mama was a pair of shants. His daddy were some of those, like... I don't know, some of those khakis with the crease in the front. And so when they bred over, this is what you got out. And he's only 24% cargo pants because that's from his grandfather's side. And that's only carried on, you know, sort of like haphazardly. So things to think about. The scraps of foil. We want to start accumulating foil for later. The reason being is that the foil will become useful for a quest down the road. What we need to do right now, I'm going to eat that small chunk of meat because everybody knows that it's a wise idea in life where if you find a meat in some other man's pocket, you should always stuff it into your mouth. Obviously, we also have 308 rounds right here, which I failed to roll. I didn't put those in my gun for some reason because I'm a noblet like that. We're also missing our crowbar. Are we? How come it wouldn't let us use our crowbar in like the last place we went? That's weird. Not going to question it too much. Let's just get back to scavenging. We're off to a better start right now. We're pretty tired at the moment, but I'm going to try and scavenge through. I hope we don't black out. If we get any fights right now, it's going to be real, real risky for us. But I'm willing to take that risk because sleeping through the night tends to be what I prefer to do since we can't really be productive during the night anyways. We have night vision goggles, but they have like no charge left in them, so if I don't use them, that's why. Those pants are worth $17. Watch out for pants. For whatever reason, pants are very, very valuable in the apocalypse. Above all other things, I found that most people just don't want their loins sticking out in the wind. Like, everybody is okay in the apocalyptic wasteland so long as their willy is not just, like, flapping around in the breeze. As long as it's behind some kind of coverage, people seem to be happy. But up until that point, they're very, very worried. What do these bullets look like in here? Because this is a 38 snubby right here. Well, it's a long barrel 38. But what do the rounds look like that go in there? They're like little gold ones. Do I have any of those? No, those have gold tips with silver. We don't have the range skill, so we can't identify bullets, if you're wondering what I'm doing right now. I memorized the ones that actually like matter, so these are 308 rounds. Shotgun shells are obviously shotgun shells, and then shotgun slugs look a little bit different to these right here. I think that they're not red, but there's something different about them. You'll be able to know when you see them. You'll be like, oh, that's a shotgun shell. And so you can have slug rounds, or you can have, oh, we have a headache now. That's not good. I hate headaches. I used to get, when I was a kid, I used to get migraines probably like once a year. Not very often, but oh man. That's the worst pain I think I've ever felt in my life is a migraine. It's genetic, I think, because my dad used to get migraines a lot in his 20s and stuff too. And then he said after that he was fine. I had them when I was... My migraines were typically... I need to ditch some of this stuff right here. I have way too many things in my inventory. This thing's only worth 20 bucks right here, and it weighs an entire kilo. That weighs 2.5. Weight is going to be a thing that you're more and more worried about as you play the game. As you go further and further into the game, you start keeping an eye on this burden meter right here. In the early game, you don't really care. You're just trying to like loot everything that you can. But as you get further into the game, you will start to worry about your burdening because it affects how much you can bring home with you. And right now, we're just trying to get a ton of loot that we can take back to Detroit with us. That's seriously all I care about right now. And it may not be the most entertaining episode to watch me run around the middle of nowhere just like looting nodes, but that's what has to happen today. We don't have any money. We need to get our eyes fixed. We need to get cyber eyes. We need to do a whole bunch of stuff right now that will make us better in the future. Always sleep in forest, by the way, if you've got the choice. It's because the forest... You saw when I was trying to grab that guy in the forest and fight him? We had trouble finding him, and he had a chance to escape. That's exactly why. It means you can retreat blindly without having to worry about it. Let's grab this money bag over here. I'm going to throw that up into the campsite. And let's sleep for a little while. We'll probably be able to sleep until morning, I bet. Somebody approaches as we slumber. It's a looter. He's at 2 range. Let me get up. He's got a crude arrow. He's going to stab me. He didn't stab me? Okay, well, let's stab him first. There we go. If at first you don't get stabbed, stab them back. That would be, wow, we just woke up and murdered a guy like we just got up for breakfast. We're like, oh, rolled out of bed, and then we're like, oh, look, a dude to murder. We took care of our business, and then we're like, all right, back to bed. Back to bed. These only worth $12, but I'm going to bring them. How good are our binoculars right now? Oh, our binoculars are destroyed. Our binoculars have like 5 minutes left in this world before it's just all over. We also have a crude arrow right there. There's your obligatory crude anything joke. Player is vomiting. Player is tired. We're burdened, vomiting. We have a headache. I feel like we might be sick. There's diseases in this game that you can catch when you're in contact with people. You can get the flu, basically. They'll call it gastroenteritis, but it's the flu. I'm going to sleep with this dude next to my hex because I don't care. He's probably not going to mess with us. We're going to lose a whole bunch of our thirst meter right now because we're not feeling so great. But I was hoping we'd make it most of the way through the night. If we don't, we have NVGs with just like a little bit of charge left in them. How much charge do these have? 20 charges, 1 per hour equipped. Okay, so we've got a little bit of time left on these NVGs before they'll stop working, but this allows us to be productive at night, which is a very, very important feature of this game. Being productive at night is actually a major, major come up, and if you can't do it, then, you know, everybody else on the map is scavenging at a higher rate than you. So, let's go ahead and put that in there. I'm going to drink a little bit of water just to make sure. Let's drink some tannin tea, too, because we haven't been feeling so great lately. And I think using some tannin tea would be a good idea. I'm going to drink this water in the whiskey black bottle first because the whiskey black bottles are too heavy. I would recommend not carrying whiskey black bottles, except to keep your whiskey organized because that's what I do. If I only put whiskey in these just because it helps me, you know how much whiskey I have so I can sell it when I get to town. Drink a little bit more. I'm actually going to be doing away with a lot of these containers. Actually, that's not that heavy. I can keep it on. The containers all have different weight, and what you'll find as you get further and further into the game is that you will become burdened very, very quickly just by carrying water around with you. When you're in the field, I would suggest carrying at least a gallon of water with you a day. So if you're going out for 5 days, bring like 5 gallons and then add 2 to it, just in case, like extra accident water. Just in case something gets spilled. You don't want to end up in like that Breaking Bad situation where you have no water in the middle of nowhere. It would suck. It would be quite nerve-wracking, and I don't think that I would do well in that situation. I would be crumpling and freaking out. We got a water tester over here. A good water tester that's worth a lot of money. Got some pebbles, some clean rags. Am I still beat up anywhere? No, we're good over there. We have enough clean rags in our sack right now. Or in our... That's not a sack. That's a case. In our first aid case. We don't need to be carrying around half this stuff in our first aid case, though, from what I remember. We've got a bunch of antibiotics in there. We can just throw these in the amoxicillin bottle. This right here has thyroxine in it. Although normally the green bottle, as I recall, is for sleeping pills, so it's a little bit weird. I wouldn't take them. Thyroxine controls your thyroid and your metabolism. I don't know if it speeds it up or slows it down. I don't know which direction it's going to take it, but it's going to take it in some direction. Now that we're no longer weary, we should be able to loot a little bit better. Oh my god, look at that right there. Look at that right there. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous loot chance. We got a 3 Dog Moon t-shirt. Once again, a second one right there. I'm going to take it because it's worth a lot of money. Some khaki cargo pants. Not a bad acquisition. Not a good acquisition either. Basically, I take clothing. Everybody likes clothing in this game, but if I find something better, I get rid of it. What I will do is eat these gummy bears off the ground. Ground gummy bears. Since we've been sick lately, I'm going to take that white pill, give us a little bit of an immune boost. That'll stack up with the tannin tea so that we can make sure that nothing's horribly wrong with us. These pants are actually worth like a decent amount of money too, although I don't want to like hoof them around with me. Basically, this is pants carrying simulator at this point. There we go. And so now that we have enough stuff to go back to Detroit and make a little bit of cash, I think that's probably what I'll do. So let's start moving back towards Detroit. I almost said Detroit. Detroit is not a place. Detroit sounds... I don't even know what to say about that. That's not even a joke that I'm ready to make. We've got a black shirt right there. The black shirt is useful because it's long sleeved. It gives you a lot of warmth. Pretty good, if you know what it is. Got some chips over here. I'm about to eat those straight out of the bag because... Ooh, more gummy bears. Hell yeah. Ooh, and ketchup packets too? Well... Welcome to my mouth. You ever had ketchup-colored gummy bears? Well, then you haven't obviously been homeless as we have. Oh, there's more over here, too. Eat those. Shoot, don't carry those around if you don't have to. We've also got some Blinky snack cakes. I love Twinkies. Seriously. You would think that given the fact that I grew up eating loads and loads of Twinkies because the Twinkie factory next to my house went out of business and they liquidated their assets. Hey, we got a bullet in there. Good. Those are worth money. Bullets are actually one of the most productive things you can find. We've also got a bottle of water right there that I can drink out of that'll keep us going a little while longer. Absolutely fantastic. So, what else was I saw something else that I wanted here. I guess not. I must just be like freaking out. I'm not sure. We'll go down over to here. Let's loot this location out. Bring the lighter just in case. I want to make sure. Got some cornucola right there. Probably save that for later because it'll help us get our rested state back up if it gets low. That's all that you use it for, is a caffeine boost. I'm going to scan around. We got a stranger over here I'm going to sneak towards, but I think he's just like moving through. I thought it said our eyes got irradiated there for a second. I'm like, wow, I really, really, really hope this ends with like a Superman-like situation where we get eye lasers or something. Found a rabbit snare in a bag with some paper in it. Rabbit snare might be useful. I mean, it's more useful in the beginning of the game than it is now. Let's keep trucking towards Detroit. I think that's a good idea for the time being. There we go. We'll scavenge this location. We'll get the abandoned apartment buildings first because they allow us to use more loot in order to get more loot. So anything that allows you more options during the loot phase, like this right here where you can stack a bunch of stuff in, always go for it. Always go for it. We got a tactical boot for our right foot. It's a little bit beat up, but it's better than our... It's not better than our other shoe, but we can make some money off that shoe, and it'll make our shoes match, which, as a style-inclined individual, I'd prefer that my shoes match. You ever worn two shoes that don't match? It seems uncomfortable. It seems like it would suck. Like, it seems like the soles would probably not be the same size. It'd be like the Grinch. His soles shrunk 6 sizes that day. Exact same thing. We've only got 3 charges left. Let me turn off the NVGs for right now. Our vision is going to be blurred, though, if I don't take them off. So let me take them off and see if I can fit them in here somewhere. There we go. And so they fit into our loot bag just fine, just fine. We've got shirts. We've got nothing that I want, though. One more scavenging hex, and then we'll be out of here. A little bit more foil. That's going to become important for a job that we're going to do later on. You should start accumulating foil early, and often you need 60 of it. So that's what you're looking for. 60 foil, 20 string is what you need for the object that we're going to be making. It's a tinfoil poncho, and what we will be using it for is a surprise. It sounds goofy, but believe me, there's a reason for it. So let's continue our trek towards Detroit. I think we got to be getting close, right? Yeah, we're almost down there. Let's go to Detroit. It looks like we visited, but I don't think we talked to Hatter. And that's what I want to do. I want to have a little conversation with our friend Hatter, so that's exactly where this is going to go. I'm going to try and clear out as much of the fog of war while I'm down here, while we're in the vicinity, just to say that we did, so that Detroit is nice and cleared out on our map. There's a GPS like program you can get later if you're a hacker. It's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. And what you want to do right now, the Last Chance Canteen has the best food in the game. It's got right here, this non-veggie stew. For $4, it refills a huge chunk of both of your hunger and thirst meters. I've never gotten sick from eating it. Nothing bad has ever happened. I've seriously ate there probably hundreds of times at this point. It's a really, really good place to get yourself all filled out if you have problems. Right now, what we want to do is recharge these NVGs. So let's get the micro cell out. Honestly, the micro cell out, it's just a really, really little guy who really, really, really likes taking shady career opportunities and micro cell out. Anyways, the military micro cell is harder to find than the NVGs a lot of the time. I don't know if either of these filters is rechargeable. That one's spent, so I don't see any point bringing it along. I'll probably just keep this other one. I don't know if they can be recharged. That's what I would be worried about with these filters. Like, if they're spent, my assumption would be without some kind of equipment in order to clean that filter out, I don't know that it would be possible to do. The other thing we need to do is empty this out. Always split your battery stacks, by the way. Your battery stacks, like that right there, shift-click them and split them out, because each one of these holds its own stack of 20 charges, and then you put them back together, and it'll make it look like you can only charge the doubles. But if you put 4 batteries into a flashlight that all have 20 charges, this thing it'll last forever. I mean, it lasts 80 hours, which means that you can keep it on non-stop for days and days and days, and just use it for scavenging while you're out and about. Pretty useful little object to have, and in fact, I might put it in here once we sell some stuff. The cornucola, not as valuable as I expected it to be. Let's go down, and now that we've taken care of our business, we're going to go to the junk market, see how much money we can make, and also see what programs they have on offer, because we're a hacker. We need to make this happen. Got ice slab over here. We've got... yeah, so those are going to be full metal jacket pistol rounds. Oh, there's a 38 rounds. So technically, those should go in our pistola over here, even though they look a little bit different. I'm probably just going to sell it because by and large on the forums and on the wiki, everybody seems to think that the pistol is useless. So I don't use it. I've got a rifle already. We have no reason to carry it around with us. Sell your excess tarps, by the way. Don't keep a lot of tarps. They're really, really heavy, and it will burden you over time. Other stuff that we can get rid of in order to get this bar filled back up. Pantalones, absolutely. Get them out of here. We've got some bullets. Those are going to be like those right there. Those are 38 rounds, I think. So technically, we actually had a full clip for the pistol. Could have made use of it, but rifle's better. The pistol, I think you have to be a lot closer for it to be efficiently used, and so I tend to stay away from it. Get rid of one of these Ravagers, make a little money right there. Our haul was not that great. I mean, we didn't have the best scavenging runs, so we're not going to make a ton of money right here, but we'll make enough. Get rid of the shoe. Get rid of the pants. Get rid of the 3-Dog Moon shirt. Also get rid of the sleeping bag, and we'll get rid of the digital water tester because it's not that useful. Digital water tester is good, but you've got to like sit down and, well, it might be worth keeping. Essentially what it does is there's water on the ground that hasn't been boiled. You can test it, and it'll come back as either infected or uninfected. Most of them come back as infected, as in my experience. That's just the way the game plays. So bearing that in mind, since so frequently the water you pick up is infected, I don't even test it. I just assume that it's bad, and then I boil it instead of like taking the chance. That's got some batteries in it. You can get the batteries from them. You can also buy batteries. If you can get into the city, you can buy the batteries at the Quickie Mart, which are nice and easy. So batteries should not be a thing that you ever lack. Every now and again, if you're playing a hacker, you should swing back through here and check and see if he's got any programs on a flash stick. The GPS program is for the iPhone, and when you put the GPS program in your iPhone, it lets you navigate or something better. I don't know. I've never actually completed it. I just know that it goes into the iPhone, and then I haven't done it after that. Still, we need to go to the Mega City gates, and so that's what we're going to do. Let's ride. Navigating the twisty maze of shacks and tarp shelters, Detroit's massive walls stand as a constant backdrop to the east. Easily half a dozen stories high and probably almost as thick, the city walls are an impressive sight to behold. I really dislike this font, by the way. Armed towers, bristling with surveillance arrays, stand at regular intervals, keeping watch over the sprawl and likely the city within. Before you, giant vid screens on the 3 gatehouses flash instructions about pass requirements and threat levels as flocks of people stream into and out of the gates. You take your place in line to the right with others entering the city. When you reach the front of the line, a sinking feeling overcomes you. Heavily armed guards in full combat armor are checking attendees with some sort of scanning device. You're pretty sure that whatever those other folks have to get in, you're missing it. When it's your turn, the guard stops you and turns to a monitor installed in the wall. A message reads, "Device not detected, entrance denied." With the efficiency and compassion of an assembly line worker, he directs you away from the line and back outside. Unfortunately, getting entrance to the city may be trickier than just showing up. Back outside, you cross the muddy square and stop to survey the area. Where do you go now? Would anyone in the sprawl know about the cryo facility? You're startled when you notice a man has been watching you. He's wearing a long brown coat and matching hat and is leaning on a walking stick. From his distance, you can almost see the glint of his eyes below the trilby's brim, though it's probably just your imagination. He takes his time approaching you, and as he nears, you notice there's a heavy maquillage on his face. It reminds you of one of those old portraits you'd see in a history textbook. "Folks call me Hatter," he says matter-of-factly. "I think we may be able to help each other. Come with me." Hatter's office is in the husk of one of those flophouse hotels you'd see crammed between high-rises in a busy city. It even has the old marquee hanging precariously from the cornerstones. Several floors up, armed guards watch over the street from missing sections of the building. Hatter acknowledges the men at the door and leads you through a surprisingly clean lobby to an old-fashioned elevator. "I have a client," he starts, pausing for the cage to rattle shut, "who collects heirlooms." He speaks louder over the motor. "He compensates well enough, in fact, that I'd be willing to part with a DMC visitor's pass in exchange." The elevator clunks to a halt and the door rattles open, revealing a dark room lit by video screens and old lamps. Stepping off the elevator, it feels like you've walked into a control center built into an antique store. Baubles and relics crowd the walls and tabletops, while video screens and computer consoles cast a bluish tint on a handful of armed guards. Hatter crosses the room to sit at a low, broad desk facing the elevator. There's a lake. He pulls a worn road atlas from a desk drawer, about a day's walk northwest of here. Inside a building there is a silver urn. He pages through the atlas to a map of Michigan. My guess is that you know a thing or two about getting around out there. Maybe this could be your ticket into the DMC. He pauses to look up at you. Interested? Now this quest right here, if you have trapping, you can just bypass it. If you don't have trapping, you have to accept it. And if you go over there, what happens is that there's a really difficult quest. You might die on the way. So, and if you complete it, you do get the visitor's pass. I've gotten the silver urn before. It's doable, but it's just more risky. So we're just going to use trapping to get out of this. Something here doesn't add up. You're no seasoned mercenary, but you're pretty sure any fixer worth his salt is going to be careful with whom he contracts his work. And a visitor's pass can't be cheap, so there's no way this is just a cakewalk test. Plus, Hatter approached you. Nobody walks into a town out of nowhere and gets that kind of welcome. Something doesn't wash here and it's making you edgy. I don't like this, you say, stopping short of sounding threatening. Sounds like somebody is trying to set me up. That gets Hatter's attention. You hear the creak of leather as a guard tenses. He says, leaning back in his creaky chair. Turns out you are worth the extra attention you seem to have garnered. He looks down at a blank spot on his desk, considering something a moment, and starts talking at it. Let's call him your employer. He's had a particular interest in you. He leans forward and starts interacting with the security console. Interested enough to open this urn contract with express instructions that it only be assigned to you. He said that I find you trying to enter the DMC, and he said that he'd front the cost of a visitor's pass if I got you to do it. He finishes a keystroke, then gestures to the wall monitors. One of the monitors switches to a view of this room with a cycling timecode in the lower corner. After a few seconds of fast-forwarding, it switches to real-time playback. There, standing where you are now, a black mass about the size of a man talks with Hatter. The detail seems to be glitchy, as if there were some dark-colored static distorting the signal, but only around the figure. What's with the censoring, you ask? I don't know. He looked normal in person. He must have had some sort of EM interference. The discussion is short, punctuated by the figure handing Hatter a small object, then leaving. As a rule, I don't disclose client info like this. He stops the video. But you seem like a decent enough type, more to the point, resourceful, and while money talks, I'll take a competent operative over cash any day. He reaches into a drawer and pulls out a small black wristband. The pass is yours. I'll keep my ear to the ground for any information on this Reaper fellow, and I'll let you know. And hey, he says before letting go of it, maybe you should come around again if you're looking for some more work, huh? And that's Hatter. Hatter will be our fixer from now on. Essentially, he's a Mr. Johnson, if you wanted to put it in Shadowrun terms. He gives us jobs from now on. Some difficult, some easy, just kind of depends. But that's the end of our episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerdcastle for the next episode of Neo Scavenger. I'm going to make my way back out and take care of some business. I will see you on the next episode. Take care out there, everybody, and I do.